I found this article to be very insightful, and as I was saying in This Week in Stupid on my live stream, the phrase official think really bothers me because it's so inaccurate. I wish fact checkers would come in to contradict the Los Angeles Times, because either you have people that can think, and that's fine, or you can have officials. But officials think it's incompatible. This does not exist. So when you write some atrocity like this, you should be ashamed. But anyway, yeah, of course, officials think racismus is to blame. Like, you gotta understand, racismus is the best thing that happened to the American politicians, because they can blame it on racismus, and then they don't have to do anything about it, right? So before, if you had something bad happening in a nation, people would usually say, well, it's God that works in a mysterious way, we didn't pray enough, donate more money to the church, it is the devil. But now, when something bad happens, especially in a country where you don't have religion, it is racismus, sexismus, transmophobismus. And these things are like in the air. They're in the ether. No one is to blame for them. Like, you can't say, well, John is responsible for the racismus. No, it is systemic. It is ambiguous. It is amorphous. It cannot be measured. It cannot be quantified. We don't know if there is more racismus today than yesterday, or if tomorrow is the... But what we know is that if you vote Democrat and the politician take away some of your rights and increase the taxes, allegedly the racismus will be lowered. However, if we keep going down this path, I'm pretty sure that even 10,000 years from now, racismus will still be existing. And again, you can blame it on literally anything, right? Like, you stubbed your toe. Oh my fucking god, racismus. You fell off your bike. Oh, racismus. Sometimes you can switch it a little bit and it's like, oh, transmophobismus. But usually racismus is the thing that sticks, right? In other words, you don't have to call anyone accountable. So for instance, I don't know, you have a drug epidemic, right? And people stick the needle and they get STDs and various diseases. You can't really blame the politicians for not controlling that, for not, securing the border, or cracking down on crime, or being capable in dealing with these issues. No, heaven forbid you blame the politicians. No, it's the people. In other words, it's you, me, everyone put together. We create the racismus, and the politician is responsible on cracking down on our human rights a little bit more. But what I found interesting about this, right, is that they also blame religion, Christianity in particular, right? So it's not Judaism, it's not Islam, like no other religion on earth besides Christianity is cracking down on promiscuity. So basically what they're saying is because Christians in America are only giving the option to their children to not have sex, like this is the only teaching, the only advice, it doesn't work, right? So technically they're kind of right, because we don't do it here in Eastern Europe. Like what I mean by this is that if you live in a society where people marry at the age of 16, which is pretty much what used to happen during the medieval time period, and even after that, but by the age of 16, most people were married and they could have kids. Well, in that case, abstinence is reasonable, right? Because you go through puberty, your hormones are raging and all of that. So if you're going to have a wife at 16, it's reasonable to have abstinence and to actually have sex with her. But when you live in a society where the reality says that most people are going to marry at the age of 35, requiring abstinence is ridiculous. I mean, you can require it, you can ask the person, but the question is, will they listen? And the answer is overwhelmingly no. Like, they will not listen. It's ridiculous to even try to require something like this. So basically what they are suggesting is because Christians behave in this way, right? Like they only provide abstinence. The kids are afraid to talk about sex with their parents, so they just don't know to use the condom. And as I'm reading this, I'm completely dumbfounded, right? This is why I say that officials can't think. It is the year of the Lord 2024. Why are you using talking points from the 70s? I mean, for fuck's sakes, it's Scat Francisco. What, is that a bastion of Christianity? Like when you think of Scat Francisco, do you think like the overwhelming amount of people are religious and they educate their kids in this manner? And we do have the internet. Like, kids do have smartphones. They know what a condom is. Like, that's my point. This idea that, like, parents aren't doing enough to teach them. I do give them this, though. When it comes to the Anglosphere, when it comes to sex, either people are ashamed to talk about it, like there's a lot of stigma to have it in a conversation, or they exaggerate talking about it and they make it like human sexuality into their personal identity and they associate it with politics. So they just can't like find the middle ground where you can just have a normal conversation about sex without going to the extremes. It's so fucking bizarre. I mean, look at this, right? Basically, what they're trying to do is to get teenagers who are tucking in their hands into their sweatshirts as they form a circle and they seem very embarrassed as they're playing a game with a dildo, right? So this is at a school, I guess. It's like hot potato musical chairs, but with a penis, said the girl leading the group. So basically, they're playing this game at sex education where they're having a dildo. And my question is, my God, why? What the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, here's the thing. This is how I got sex education in my high school. I think I was 16 or maybe 17 when I got it. This lady came in. I think she was around the age of 45. She had this look of utter disdain on her face, like she wanted to be anywhere else but there. She looked like one of those Nintendo CEOs that's talking to the players at the old event called E3. And they have like this look of eternal disgust and disdain on their face. She looked like that. And she comes in and she says, I'm not going to explain to you what sex is, because I'm pretty sure you all know. We're going to talk to you about STDs. Here are some horrifying pictures of certain STDs that you can catch. And she actually showed us the lesions that come from syphilis, like pus on the penis, and all sorts of like very vile, disturbing imageries. And after she goes through all of them, she says, yeah, in order to avoid STDs, use a condom. Some dumbass in the class raised his hand. He's like, but how do you put a condom on? And she said, look, when you open the package, there's an instruction manual with pictures and stuff. You guys do hyper complex math and quantum physics. If you can't figure out how to put a condom, just drop out of high school. Just stop now. And everyone laughed, and then she leaves, right? This took 1 hour, and it was super effective because from my circle of friends, and even my acquaintances, like, no one would have sex without a condom. Like, those images were so horrifying that it was like, well, how much does it take to put a condom? And it was also the fact that, well, you're not going to get the lady pregnant. And that was that. That was sex ed. 1 hour. How much money do you think the government had to spend for that? Probably not as much as Scat Francisco does. Like, what is this nonsense? Dancing around musical chairs with the dildo. Like, you're talking to teenagers about sex? If they're old enough for you to have a conversation about sex with them, they're too old to play the musical chairs. Like, how old are you? Whoever decided to do this, like, do you play musical chairs? And if you do, get help. Like, that's a game for kindergarten. You're not talking with kindergartners. You're talking with high schoolers about reproduction. Different demographic, okay? Why can't you talk with them like normal human beings? And yeah, the thing with the banana, that everyone's like, oh, the banana, haha. Everyone knows about the banana when you're talking to them about this. You're having sexual education. They know about it, but you don't have to actually bring forth the banana. Yeah, like there are actual pictures with the instruction manual attached on how to put it on. I do not think that there are cases with people that haven't figured out how to put the cap on the big guy. And if those people exist, maybe they shouldn't reproduce. I don't know. All of this is so interesting, right? Because it justifies the government spending money it doesn't need to spend. Again, not only was it super effective for me to learn about STDs and stuff in school, took 1 hour, not a lot of government spending, but and by the way, that lady with disdain on her face didn't tell me how to vote. Like, she wasn't trying to persuade me to vote left-leaning or right-leaning. But when you look at this, well, this is what it's about, right? Because they're trying to say, oh, well, it's about pregnancy, it's about systemic racism, right? How do you fix systemic racism? You vote Joe Biden, you got like all of these politics and intersectionality and race and gender and all of this shit being packed in here. I guarantee you it's more than 1 hour. It's probably a lot more than 1 hour. And it's so boring. And apparently it's not even effective because the STDs are still on the rise. And they're blaming Christianity. In San Francisco, really. Like if you were to talk to me about, I don't know, New Hampshire, maybe? San Francisco, really, they found Jesus. The last place I would expect Jesus is San Francisco. No, like, if Jesus comes back to Earth, and you're asking me, like, where is Jesus? Well, apparently it's in San Francisco. No, I don't fucking believe it. No fucking way. No. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and if you like the channel, there is a link into the pinned comment section that is going to take you either to my Subscribestar or my PayPal, and you can contribute as much as you want, and in exchange you're going to get buyer's remorse. So I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.